and hit the theme while we chat because I love that. I'm just going to play it down and give a countdown. Let's lead with that. Let's get the people what they want. Let's talk about different apps and stuff to start the day. We'll do this.
With the Spurs foul, should Miami go for the three right away? Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome to the Ultimate Super Coach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Boom shakalaka!
In the immortal words of one Mr. Jim Carrey, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are around the world. That was a great movie, by the way. Truman Show, just a bit of a deep cut to the 90s, the glory days of films. Joining me today on this Insight NBA show is, of course, my regular Saturday Heat Check co-host, the one in the bottom corner. How are you, Skidmore?
Yeah, I'm going well, mate. Bringing up the Truman Show, man. That's bringing back stuff. I remember watching that show first, and did everyone else do the same thing where you're like, this could be me, and you'd be looking around in the sky trying to find the cameras and shit. Like, man, that movie got me so paranoid. But yeah, that was good. 12-year-old me, that would just it's not great times.
And the person who cameras do follow him everywhere because he is an absolute superstar. One, Mr. Adam King. How are you, Kingy?
Yeah, I'm good. Gee, you were 12 when the Truman Show came out. I was 19.
How are you doing math? How are you doing that math so quickly?
What was that, 1998?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was.
So, I was. Yeah, you were a little whippersnapper.
I was 19. I was 19.
Wow.
I was 19.
Yeah, so there you go. Yes, no, look, I'm good. I'm happy now. Dan has set his lineup in industry pickup, so he's actually pulling his weight here. Good to be here, and looking forward to the game show. Should be fun.
I've just got to say, this doesn't half sound like a conspiracy whatsoever between you blokes. What is going on with this? Talk about this lineup shenanigans, because I'm confused, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
I promise I'm not tanking for Kingy here. So industry pickup is a league of analysts that it's like 12 of us, very competitive league. So Noah Rubin of NBC is in a battle right now with Kingy for 2 of the last 3 playoff spots. And if I win my matchup, Kingy and Noah, I think, should get in, or one of those 2 will get in, I believe. Yep. So it's kind of interesting. So I pretty much control Kingy's fate here. And I left Lauren Markland on the bench last night, but I have a gripe. I'm a Yahoo guy. I'm a brand guy. I'm a company man. Yeah. I feel like Fantrax sometimes is glitchy. I had set my lineups. This is what I do. Trust me, I set my lineups.
You don't hit submit. You didn't hit submit. It's the submit thing which gets you every time.
It's too many damn buttons, man. Like, just give me an optimal lineup. It's set it and forget it. Like, what is the problem? But yeah, I digress. It was my bad, but I got you, Kingy. I'm coming through. I'm going to beat my opponent 5-4 and give you a shot. But you got to do your work too.
I do. So I need Dan to win. I have to win at least 7-2, hopefully 8-1. I'm up 7-2 at the moment.
Wow.
B-Dub is going to get in. He'll get in over Noah. So yeah, there's a few moving pieces. And you also left Bobby Portis on your bench yesterday.
Bobby.
But
Bobby shot 40% from the field. He wasn't going to help me in a couple categories, I believe.
Well, yeah, but he had 3 steals, bench. 10 rebounds.
I could use
46% from the field. That's anyway.
I could use.
I digress.
This is a lot of digressing happening along. Kingy, that trade that I sent you the other day that we thought was fair, that got vetoed in a league. People are like, that's not fair.
Let's talk about vetoes, guys. Let's talk about vetoes. Why are we still vetoing? We're all grown here. If someone trading is so subjective. If you value someone, especially at this point in the season, no vetoes. Stop leaving it in the hands of the commissioner to make the decision.
All right, so it was a thing. We made a trade, and I didn't know that Skiddy was like, I'm not making playoffs. I'm not kind of pushing. He's like, mate, and Skiddy's like doing the right thing. He's like
targeting the
and he's
bottom
like,
feeders.
He's he's had injuries. You've had just a shit season with that.
Shocking season with injuries. And yeah, if I was going to do anything, I had to get players that were playing well right now. Players that G wanted were a little bit down in the dumps. So if I was going to do anything, I needed something to try and push me. But it was kind of like, I was kind of pretty much stuffed. And G got me at a good point where, he was making all these good points. And I was probably about 15 beers deep watching the footy. And I was like, that's a great idea, actually. I do need a push. And so yeah.
Did he know that he knew you how many beers deep you were before he sent that proposal?
I didn't know the beer count.
Got him right where I want him.
I didn't know. I didn't know the beer count. I didn't know the beer count.
What do you mean you didn't know the beer count? The footy was on. Obviously, I had beers, so you got me at a good time.
Out of the beers anyway. So it was, what was it that got vetoed? I was sending Miles Bridges and Miles Bridges, Triple J,
Quickly
and
Darren.
Emmanuel Quickly, who has been a top 20 player the last couple of weeks, for Kawhi and Cat. Cat and Miles both had 2-game weeks, but I thought it was a good trade too. A guy literally took a screenshot, shared it in another league, said this was, and a bunch of guys were like, that's a horrible trade. That's a trade with mates. So again, it's subjective value, I think, about people. And again, that's an awesome opinion if that's your opinion, but it's not going to always match everyone else's opinion. And that's why it's there at the end of the day, I guess. And we have a triumvirate of commissioners that we say veto or not. So Matrix and I chatted and it's like, you know what? People think it. Nah, we're just done. It's just kind of all in fairness to the lads. So the players stay happy. But I agree. What's the vote of veto in chat? Do we think veto should be or not? Because you're a no, Dan.
I'm a no. Hard pass. Especially at this point where, like, if you're on a fringe playoff team and you need that extra hump, like, you might take a little risk here and trade some player by name over somebody that may be trending up. You shouldn't have any fault in that. And the last thing you should have to do is have to rely on other people's opinions who are probably just going to hate on your trade anyway because you're making a move that they're not getting. You're like, you're trading this guy? Like, I don't want to hear your opinion. Like, I'm talking to the man that I'm making the deal with. Like, if he press accept, then let's make moves.
And I think it was Kingy, because I actually messaged you. I went outside the chat and to a mate, and I was like, Kingy, what do you think of this? Do you think this is legit? And you thought it was a fair trade too. So I think it's all subjective at the end of the day. Yeah.
I'm okay. All of my leagues, it's commissioner makes the decision on all trades, and I'm usually the commissioner. And unless there's pretty rarely collusion. I think people in my leagues know they're not going to get that past me. If there's one that I look at and it's questionable, I've got some questions, I'll just go to both parties. If they're happy, I do it. And the only time I might veto it is we have a couple of guys in some of my leagues who basically after draft day, they do no research or anything. So, for example, McCall Bridges was like a top 30 draft pick this year, going too high in hindsight. But if someone offered like a top 30 player for McCall Bridges, or he offered a player for McCall Bridges, he would have no idea that McCall Bridges is the 91st ranked player. He would, in his head, he would go, no, McCall Bridges is a top 30 player, so I'll send a top 30 player back. That would be the only time, because I know who the people in my leagues are who don't pay attention at all after about 3 weeks. And they're the ones that lose 8-0 or 7-1 every week because they don't set their lineups and they don't make trades and they don't make pickups. So
here's a question on that as a fellow commissioner and Dan, obviously the God Almighty at Yahoo. That's what we call you, by the way, in private chats. we call you GA, like the God Almighty over at Yahoo. What about this? Someone asked me this week. Someone reached out to a guy to start setting his lineups like about 2 weeks ago, who started setting lineups for the first time in weeks after being inactive for most of it, to try and get more wins and losses in his favor to make the playoffs. So that off collusion. If you were the commissioner in that case, you just put a veto to inactive guys to stay inactive, so that balances the course of wins and losses out over the rest of the season? Or are you make sure that they set their teams to keep it fair for the week?
I think
so.
That
was an interesting point.
Yeah, it's a good point. If someone's inactive for most of the season, since it's cyclical, depending on whether you're playing in head-to-head, you've probably had a certain amount of matchups against this person, so you've either taken advantage of it or you haven't yet. If everyone's taken advantage of it once and this guy starts setting his lineups, that's probably okay. But if you're into the second round of this and now it's starting to be convenient, like, oh, now this guy starts setting his lineups, no. At that point, you should just, as a commissioner, lock the team. Don't let them make any moves and just let that be a freebie for whoever plays them. And then it just sucks for the random scheduling that you got. Maybe you play this guy 3 times versus 4 or whatever the case may be. But for someone to start setting their lineups midway through is just, can't do it.
Yeah. Skiddy, what about you, man? Same?
Nah, couldn't agree more, mate. Like, yeah, it's just one of those things where, you want everyone to be as active as possible each and every week. But, some things happen. Some people, start going down in the standings and stop giving a shit. So, if that's the case, then you just lock it and that's that.
Well, Kingy, I know that you were nodding along. You happen to follow the same suit there. If that's the case, that's the case, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Yep, I agree. As a commissioner, that's just sort of your role to monitor what teams are doing and keep an eye on things. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. One thing I just want to bring up very, very quickly, because I've been reading it on Twitter, and this is not basketball related at all. Dan, you are geographically much closer to Las Vegas than us. One of our national sports, rugby league, is about to launch its season in Las Vegas this weekend. Are you aware of that?
No, I had no idea.
Because the news over here is saying Americans are pumped. This is great. We're getting people, and here we go. You don't even know it's on. So,
yep. Can America?
And if GA says no, and if GA says no,
that's all right. Yeah.
So what are the teams that are playing in Vegas?
So it's well, if I just give you it's the Rabbitohs, South Sydney Rabbitohs. Who are they playing? Manly? Are they playing? I think it's Manly. So, yeah.
Rabbitohs. Got it.
Sorry, you're talking to AFL guy. Don't know.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So
if it's not Storm,
they're playing the Sea Eagles.
Yep.
And
And there's the
Broncos
and the Roosters.
I see.
The Roosters. Yep.
The Bronchios.
Well, you guys tell me what to bet on, and then I will watch the game.
Broncos.
Depend on
that's all.
Broncos.
Broncos. Right. Go Broncos. All right.
Yeah.
Broncos. I should say, because I've had 2 questions DM me from this one. Yes, the game show is coming. We're going to do the live, as far as I'm aware. And this is not just to pump it up and make it sound like something that whatever, but I like to do some fun. We like to have some fun. Hey, it is the AFL guy, Skiddy. He's like, what does he know about NRL over in Vegas? What's up, horsey? For those of you, Dan, I don't know if you've met our beautiful big horse before, but this is his soundbite. Shout out to Horse Good and Chat. If you haven't got the Kahoot app yet on your phone, make sure you've downloaded the Kahoot app. We are going to be doing the live, as far as I'm aware, the live analyst versus viewers game show in a couple of minutes' time. It's 10 questions deep because Kingy's here until 9 a.m. He was like, yeah, I'll have fun with that. I'll jump on when we did the live pod with Horse the other night for FBI Basketball International. And I haven't told you guys what the questions are again.
Honestly, what else is new? That's pretty much how you run this show.
It is exactly how I run the show. No, but Dan gave. I don't know, Dan. I let Dan lead the questions this time. Don't blame me for prep. I was like, you know what? I was just going to ask. Well, no, because a couple of them were really. No, hold on. I did the game show part, and I was like, Dan, what would you like to talk about? Because you've had you've got your waiver wire, you've got the fantasy hoops picking up, you've got wake up, the first of the month. You've got your recaps coming up on Yahoo Sports, so a big plug to that. So, mate, we're talking about rest of season value. We're talking about the games of the weekend are going to be our 2 major topics and streaming targets. So download that app right now. We'll get to that in a couple of times. First question before we get to the game show is, Kingy, who has been your favorite player post All-Star break?
Wemby.
The guy who's made the most impacts. Wemby?
Yep. Easily. Yeah. He's I tweeted something. Actually, interestingly, I tweeted last night or yesterday about the fact that I'm taking Wemby number 1 next season, I think, and did a poll. And interestingly, half the people that responded have said they would take Wemby number 1.
Don't give away one of the. Shut up, Kingy. Shut up. That's one of the questions in the quiz.
Well, this is like I'm.
I used your
people
poll
a
in the
clue.
quiz. Oh,
Okay.
Kingy.
I mean, can you imagine how
Alright.
great it's going to feel though when you get Nikola Jokic at 2?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
or
Like,
3.
we mentioned-
Shea could be
yeah.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
Like
absolute
I'm all
complete
for
shakeup.
Wemby number 1, but I'm just also like, damn, it would be great to just get. Oh, cool! I'll take a triple double at number 2. That'll work.
Yeah, for
Three.
the last sort of 4 years, it's been number 1 pick is a clear advantage. It's not the case anymore. I don't
No.
think it's probably still if Wemby sort of keeps going on the trajectory he's on, then it's going to be just stupid. But for next season, we could have 3 guys that are right up there battling for number 1 with Embiid. If he
100%.
he won't be healthy, but
Right.
Embiid's up there as well.
100%. Who about you, Skiddy? Anyone else?
No, it's Wemby, man. He's been absolutely unbelievable. He's running out 5x5s like it's absolute nothing. Like, this is insane what he's doing. Like, when Jokic was the clear number 1 and Harden, we'd be sitting there going, oh, how good's this? We're getting points, rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, all in Harden's case, free throws and everything like that. Now we're getting literally everything. And you're just sitting there going, what are you meant to do with it? He's literally only going to get better. He's 19. And now there's the talks of, Trae Young going to San Antonio. I don't even care if it's Trae Young. Just get him any type of, viable point guard. Mate, his numbers are going to go through the damn roof. This is what he's doing with Trae Jones. Like, my God, he's going to be unbelievable when he gets an actual point guard with him.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What about you, Dan? Any other ones outside Wemby, or Wemby's just been amazing for you?
I mean, the easy answer is unanimous decision. It's got to be Wemby, man. Like, there's a colleague of mine at Yahoo that's doing he has a column called the Victor Vector, where he's essentially tracking where Chet and Wemby are going in terms of history and amongst rookies. And I believe he just cracked the top 5 all time for fantasy points up until week 18 right now. So after that night's great game, he has a very good chance to get into the top 3. I don't know that he's going to get to David Robinson and Shaq numbers, but he's going to be pretty damn close if he keeps on doing these 5 block, 5 steal type games, because that's what's really going to take him to the next level. Because I think he already has more 5 block, 5 steal games 5 block games than any other rookie in history. I think maybe Manute Bol was the only person he was competing with who, like, the dude was freaking freak. So yeah, man, it's just scary, the upside and the ceiling of Wemby, that we haven't even seen it yet. Like, dude's insane.
Yeah.
And I would say, as you alluded to there, if we're looking at other guys other than Wemby, Chet is probably another one, because he was tracking down a little bit heading into the break, but he's a top 10 player since the All-Star break. So he's bounced back. And it seems like every night these two, especially Wemby, but they're putting up stat lines that we haven't seen before. They're leading the league in blocks. It's never been done with 2 rookies leading the league in blocks. So they're just creating history on a nightly basis. And it's pretty special to watch.
They're pretty close. I mean, Chet's a first round value right now. Like, where can he be a first round pick next year?
I think he will be.
I think someone will flirt with the idea. Yeah, I think later end. I think someone's going to flirt with the value of getting him there. And I think when he slips to 14 or 15 in your league, if he does, it'll be a steal territory. You'll be like, what? You let him go? I think that'll be the case. And I think for me that they've just both proven their worth and excelled incredibly. And it's, again, we have to go back to not long ago. We were talking that, Chet Holmgren was outplaying Wemby, and there were restrictions on him for minutes per night, no back-to-backs. And we were like, wait a second, is Chet Holmgren the rookie of the year here? Like, and this is the wonderful thing about basketball and fantasy and revisionist history. We can say that in the moment, but then the moment can shift dramatically. And it's shifted incredibly to Victor Wembanyama. One question before we get to our game show. We've got Gorkum. Shout out to our guy. What's up, Glory? Do we believe that Taylor Hendricks or Kobe Buffkin could be a 12-team must roster at some point? First question in. I believe they must roster on a back-to-back set at some point if you need some stats, but I don't feel at this point now that they must roster guys. Maybe Hendricks more than Buffkin. Maybe. Boys?
Yeah, I would lean Hendricks. I think he's just got a better fantasy game. Buffkin, I know they've now got rid of Patty Mills and Trey's out for a while, but he's more of just like a scorer, maybe some assists. But Hendricks, he can hit threes, defensive stats. This is why we profiled him well when he was coming out of college in the draft, that he could be a good fantasy player. And now he's starting to get the minutes. But I believe also Walker Kessler's out at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, he could come back in, which would make it a bit hard. So it's a tough one, but both teams are probably not making play-ins. So there's a chance for rest, and then they can get an extended role. But yeah, it's definitely one to watch at the moment. But I wouldn't be taking a swing on them yet.
Dan, Kingy, you guys?
Yeah, I like Taylor Hendricks as the season wears on. I mean, with the Jazz likely not to make the play-in game, there's no point in playing John Collins down the stretch. I think Taylor Hendricks will probably fit in there, and he has a double-double profile. He can shoot the three. I think he's definitely a guy that's probably going to become relevant probably by week 21, week 22 for sure. Kobe Buffkin, can't say his name. Kobe Buffkin. I think Kobe's somebody that I think I'm going to watch for more so, because I think there's a path for him to get, anywhere between 18 to 24 minutes as the backup point guard. But I just don't know right now how much that will be useful in 12-team formats. Definitely not 10-team. But if something happens to DeJounte Murray, because as Skiddy said, the Hawks are just as much, probably tinkering on that play-in tournament status, he might get some run towards the end of the season. So definitely someone on my watch list.
100%. And you, Skiddy, you, Kingy?
Yeah, I agree. I think we've seen enough from Hendricks to know what his role will look like and what he can do. He is already playing sort of 27, 28 minutes. So we, I guess, extrapolate that to 33, 34 minutes. And that's, as Dan said, double-double, some defensive stuff. Kobe Buffkin's a little bit more unknown. We haven't seen him in a big role yet. And I'm not sure the path is there at the moment. It does depend, I think, on the Hawks. But what the Hawks do probably depends on what the Raptors are doing and what the Bulls are doing. Like, there's a few moving pieces there. So we'll see. But at the moment, yeah, I would say that it's Hendricks over Buffkin. Yeah.
And shout out to David Burns watching from Cedar Hills in Texas. I hope everybody does have their app ready. It's the background sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's in the back of my headphones, killing me like crazy. So we're just going to see how this goes. There it is.
So I need to open
all right,
I guess.
Yeah,
Weasel, just want to quickly bring up Old Man's and the C's question. Guys, do you think that Drummond will start today, even if Caruso is healthy? Bucks have a pretty big lineup. Bulls do lean the two big lineup of Vooch and Drummond when they play bigger teams. So that would classify as the Bucks. I did pick up Drummond before the Cavaliers game because that's just what they do, and then kept him for this game purely because they have the two big lineup, and then he'll be gone. So yes, he will start and get a lot of minutes.
Agree, Skiddy.
Monster. Oh, g'day, old man. We have our first viewer in chat. Don't forget, this is not just for the analysts and people here. If you are in chat, if you are watching this on Twitter, on YouTube, or on Facebook, you can just get the app. You can put the game pin in, and we're going to get to it. We're just waiting on you, Skiddy, from the analysts. And old man is ready to race. Old man and a C. Oh, you're a reindeer. Got a polar bear. We'll get a couple more guys in to the chat. This is fun. Dan, that is the most attractive selfie. Oh, you can't. It automatically generates.
What am I, a fish or like a Monsters Inc. character?
I think you're a Monsters. Are they little love hearts above your head? Oh, Matty Carmody. What's good, Carmody?
While we're waiting, I just want to, because we were talking about number one picks and rookies of the year, and this is not NBA related, but for anyone that does NBA fantasy, I would recommend doing WNBA fantasy during the offseason, just if you look, it was fun. Caitlin Clark nominated for the draft yesterday. And I just want to say I'm really excited to watch the Fever this year and see because they've got a Leah Boston from last year as well. And I'm wondering where Caitlin Clark is going to go in WNBA fantasy drafts this season. So I don't know if any of you play WNBA fantasy, but it's, I actually enjoyed it. And WNBA League Pass is very cheap. So if you're just looking for some basketball to watch during the off season, I think in Australia it was about $40, $35 for the year.
Wow.
So So very
Love
cheap and yeah. Anyway, that's again, I digress. Going off topic.
Well, let's not digress. Let's get to it.
Who was the number one WNBA player last year? Was it like Asia Wilson or Brianna Stewart?
Or who was it?
I feel like both of them would probably be pretty good draft picks too.
Yeah, they're up there. Yeah, I've got my favorite player is Satu Sabali.
Okay.
She plays for Dallas. She's awesome. Yeah, I can't think who was number one last year. I don't know.
Sounds like fun though.
Well, I've got the number one question. I've got the number one question for you, Kingy. And I've got the number one question, and it involves something the other day. There's a bunch here. In the past 2 weeks, which teams have 3 players inside the top 25 in 9-cat leagues? Is it the Clippers and the Nuggets, the Celtics and the Mavs, the Celtics and the Nuggets, the Celtics and the Clippers?
I don't feel good about that.
Ooh, I should change my answer.
I didn't have an answer. I was still reading the question.
Well, the answer was indeed it is Boston and the Nuggets. Because
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. has made his way to the 25th base player in the cat league. Mate, he's just slid in. He's bumped in the last 2 weeks. But that no one got that one, so we're on to the next one. Which player is this? Yeah, thank you. Number one. It's a bit of a hit down.
Is this a speed thing?
Yeah, you got to get it right and be the quickest, I think. You got to get it right and the quickest.
I've got to do it on my phone. I'm clicking on the screen. And I'm like, why isn't this working? Oh, yeah.
Is it even a touch screen? Please tell me.
No, it's not.
He's doing the old dial-up.
Full screen that, man. Bloody hell.
See what happens when Dan doesn't set his lineup. So I get all discombobulated. And
Kingy's just all over the place.
Skiddy's got number one with the quickest answer there. Titus. Yeah, come on, old man.
Maybe I need to hold my phone up so I can.
Victor Wembanyama will move to majority number one pick in fantasy next year. True or false? Based off current data.
It's got to happen.
Is that data just mine?
Yep.
This is one for
you, Kingy. That is exactly why. This was a Kingy-friendly question. According to that poll you put up last night,
then Kingy, it might be no, because I think he was at 49%.
Wow.
He's gone up to 50% in the last result that I saw. 37% is at 2 and 3. There are 12% of people who are at 4 to 8, and there is 1% of people who are never, ever going to get them in their fantasy lineups because they think he's going to go and pick 9 to 12.
Yeah, that's unlikely.
Wow.
Oh, remains the same. Well done, Carmody. Old man getting on the board. True or false? Skiddy is always in his hot guy era.
I mean, I feel like.
Have you seen how my beard looks right now?
How many beers deep is that picture?
But no.
That was a lot of beers deep.
Was that liquor too?
So basically what happened was I got suspended in footy and I had to spin a wheel of punishments for getting suspended. And it landed on putting my profile photo on Facebook as a duck face photo. So that's why that's there.
I just so you know, Skiddy, you're about to learn who put no then, if there's any movements then. So
yeah, it was me.
I'll tell you that I put no.
I put no too.
Dan Titus obviously getting right on a roll right now with 3 correct answers in a row. Man, it's got up to number 3.
When Skiddy first came on my show, he had a big flowing beard, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
That's hot guy era.
What do you mean? Do you like the beard more than the mo?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone likes the beard. Everyone likes the beard more than the Momo. Everyone does. And we need a beard. We need great beards to return with Jacques Vaughan getting fired. That's all I'm saying. We just need this one. Now, according to current 9-cat rankings, sort the players from best to worst. Now, this is full season rankings apply. So as of today, who is the best to worst in this lineup?
So we got Tatum twice here.
We got Tatum. It didn't work. I don't know. It saved it. One of them is supposed to be bloody Tyrese Halliburton, obviously, with the photo.
One is Halliburton.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be Tyrese, Tatum, Kyrie.
The tiles.
Yeah.
Man. Drag it around. It'll
crap. I got to click submit too.
Everyone's going to get it wrong. Do it on
like
those.
fan tracks. Got to press that submit button.
Yeah, you got to.
Oh, bang!
There we go.
Nailed it.
Ooh,
I don't know who the fourth one is.
Really?
Yeah,
Tyrese.
Yeah, boy.
Kyrie
Yeah,
has just gone ahead of Kyrie.
Because
Kyrie's
Kyrie's
gone ahead of
having
Kyrie.
those minutes restrictions, so he's played a lot of games with those minutes, while Kyrie has been injured, but he's been playing like the
Is
30
that
minutes
based on
pretty much
per
every
game value or totals? Per
Amazing
game.
stuff.
Per game.
Damn.
Per game. I bet it's 1 and 2. So I think at current standings as well, I think he is 9th. And I'll just double check it right now to say where he is. He is at 9th, Kyrie, Tyrese at 10, Tatum at 13, and it was actually supposed to be Chet Holmgren was the other one who was missing, and he's slid up to 12th value now. So that goes back to our conversation earlier, where he is now going into 12. So just at that end of the first round on the season, heading into next. At the leaderboard, Titus still holding strong. Skiddy, Old Man Carmody, and Kingy, because he said that Skiddy was not hot. True or false? This is currently the highest NBA season in 3-point percentage since 2010-2011. It is indeed. It is a trick question because of the volume.
Did you say no?
Down, but
I did say no.
Number one.
Well, it's at 367 currently tied with the 2021-22 season, I believe, as the highest 3-point percentage since the early 2000s. It is at 367 across the NBA currently. Our next one, who is currently second behind Giannis in FTAs per game? Trey, Shea, Luka, or DeRozan in free throws attempted?
Oh, this is tough.
I thought it was Embiid.
Well, it's not who I picked.
What's Luka?
It is Luka, narrowly above Shea.
Did you do Shea, Kingy?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I thought it was Embiid, but he's not even up there. So
no, it's going down. I'll bring up the thingy. Let me put up the Windows, the basketball reference last numbers for it. I can't share my screen on the other one. It's got the answers on the other page.
I feel like Embiid would probably be there.
He would be. He would be on there, but free throws attempted. I'll bring it up on the other line. Here we go. Free throws attempted. Maybe it was because it was from an ESPN list. Yeah. And maybe they just want to,
was it per game or was it overall?
ESPN apps and desktop apps gave everyone a massive heart attack this week when there were multiple players with no statistics loading for an entire game. And everyone was absolutely shitting their shorts.
Do they even care about their fantasy product? Like, let's be honest.
Neo.
Pew, pew, pew. Currently, look, I don't know why it's not on the list. Maybe because he isn't active currently with injury or the game restriction to play under the minimum. But it's Giannis at 10.9, Luka at 9.3, Shea at 8.9, 7.8 is Trey, DeMar at 7.4, followed quickly by Dame and Paolo at 7.3 and 7.2 respectively. Yeah, Devin Booker is at 7. Behind Grayson Allen, sort from 2 to 5th, who is currently on the board for 3-point percentage in the NBA.
Luke Kennard twice again. Is that
nice?
Correct.
Oh, son of a bitch. It keeps on doubling up the last option when you put it in. It's Norm Powell. The other one's Norm Powell.
What color is Norm Powell?
Norm Powell should have been red. Make Norm Powell red. On your thing. Oh, no, whatever it is, it is.
Oh,
don't worry.
I thought we had.
I'll give everyone a free answer. I'll give everyone I'll give everyone a free answer.
Oh, I got it.
Whatever I.
Oh, I've done it again.
The current leaders.
Beasley, man, I got crushed.
Yeah. I was shocked to see that it was Malik Beasley coming into. Naismith is at number 3, and Norm Powell is behind them with Luke Kennard, who is former league leader in there. Any shifts in the title? No. Skiddy's still at the number 1. Well done, Skidmore.
Can I get a fact check on that one? I swear I looked this up yesterday, and I thought that
ESPN
Basketball Reference had.
I'll check Basketball Reference. All right, but Grayson Allen is still a jerk, though.
I got that one.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Well,
I always said no because I paid some homage to him yesterday because he's like the most efficient shooter in the game right now.
Yeah,
he is. Here's basketball. I'll get up to basketball reference. Here we go. Basketball reference.
Oh, I was not good.
Oh man,
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Listening to the JJ Redick podcast, I dead set like listen to that. I reckon each episode he says like what the 3-point percentage leaders are in it just randomly. So I knew it was Beasley at second. Like that's how good. Like JJ just keeps rolling off these stats. It's great.
Yeah, JJ's been on fire lately. Can I just say, even having some personal beef. I'm checking basketball reference too, by the way. Yeah. Right now,
he's definitely one of the best basketball pods out there for sure.
Oh yeah,
100%.
All right, great job, Skiddy, for winning the.
I was going to say, everybody, put your hands together for one and only, the immaculate, the bearded, the beautiful man that is Jake Skidmore. Well done, Skiddy.
If he had his beard, I might have won. There you go.
Look at that. He's bringing back the joke. Now, I know you've got to head off to work at 9 o'clock. We're going to go through the games of the day and have a bit of a talk and rest of season value and tanking teams. Kingy, I know you want to jump in for that one. If you want to jump out early, there you go. Oh, man, in the sea. This is for you, Skiddy. Those claps are just for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I should be good for another 15 to 20 because I'm getting picked up and the guy that's picking me up is just leaving his house and he's about 20 minutes away. So.
Well, this is also Matt Carmody is an Allen fan. You talked about the good things for him yesterday, Dan, as well. We've all got to say, hats off to the bloke. He's had an absolute blinder this season.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Jay Weasel. I just, don't like the fact that he tries to tunnel people and pretty much broke Caruso's arm. That's dirty as all hell, but, you got to respect the 3-point shooting from him. So, but still. That shit's just shouldn't be in the game.
Agreed. Hey, look, a bit of a question from Dan. I know that we talked about this the other night, but let's talk about teams who are absolutely. This is I just got to get a bring it on reference in every now and then. Dan, you mentioned
bring it on. Nice
pickup. You mentioned, oh my god, Eliza Dushku and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My lord,
yes, that was sleeper Eliza. Is Eliza Dushku?
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah, Eliza Dushku. Like
big fan as a kid. Big fan
as a kid. Young Matthew. And an adult, young Matt. She came to a Comic Con the other day. Charisma Carpenter and her were going to be at a Comic Con in Australia. And I'm like, young Matthew was
there. Damn throwbacks.
I was just like, that is my childhood. I'm like looking at this, going like, this is every fantasy I've ever had in one place at one time. Thank you very much. Just and my wife is like, Charisma. Who is this Charisma? Just Googling. And she's like, oh, I get it now. I was like, I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, she did a Playboy. And I'm like, she did what?
She did.
Started Googling as well. She did? Yeah. Oh, what?
Where was I at that moment? Damn, did I miss that? Shit.
Yeah, no, that's a Google reference history in the future. Dan, you were talking about end of season. You're talking rest of season for these tanking teams, and Skiddy, you weren't part of that conversation. What do you think the outlook is? Talk about the teams for rest of season that you were a little bit dubious on for fantasy value moving forward.
You mean like people that are going to sit and then get these rogue players in?
Yeah, Titus, Dan, what was your feels about it? Because you asked the question, why is that something that's going through your mind right now, this rest of season tanking teams?
Just because I feel like there's definitely, this draft doesn't look as anywhere near as enticing as last year's, obviously, but I think there are some teams that are definitely looking to the future already. And with the construct of certain teams like Portland, for example, like DeAndre Ayton getting his hand hurt was probably more than enough reasons to now we can really rest him instead of having to create some arbitrary excuse to do it. So this is the point of the season where I feel like certain teams that just have nothing to play for, why risk playing your star players? So like Memphis Grizzlies, I'm worried about Jaren Jackson Jr. eventually getting rested at some point. Desmond Bane, they're not bringing him back. They're not bringing back Marcus Smart. Why would you do it? Charlotte Hornets, same thing. LaMelo Ball's, Steve Clifford just came out and said that he's still progressing, but he's not quite there yet. You guys should just move on. I moved on a while ago with Mark Williams and do the same for LaMelo Ball. At this point, just start looking at those teams that are not in contention for the play-in tournament. And this is where you start trying to free up some spots on your roster to see if you can make some of these pickups that can potentially be league winners, guys you've probably never even heard of that are going to get minutes for the last few weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Kingy, who's on your list of pickups from those teams that anyone's that's caught your eye? And then I'll ask the same to you, Skiddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we covered this on the Thursday night show as well. From memory, we looked at which teams we thought were going to start packing it in and targeting players. And yeah, I mean, in Memphis, it's just so hard to know because they're even benching their second unit. So because most of their first, like, it's just such a weird situation. So Memphis, I'm just avoiding. I think we said Vince Williams appears as though he's probably going to play most nights, but I mean, even he's been rested a couple, and Dan, Dan's shaking his head there. So Memphis, I just avoid. I'm not really touching anyone in Memphis. Jordan Goodwin would be someone, but he can't play every game, so we don't know when he's going to play. So, and in Portland, as I said on the show on Thursday, I didn't get DeAndre Ayton anywhere because I figured he'd have a season like this where he just doesn't care and gets injured. And so it's maybe Duop Reith. Maybe we're looking at Duop Reith. He was pretty good for a stretch there. He's not going to blow your socks off or anything, but he can stretch the floor. Jabari Walker, Tamani Kamara, these guys I think are probably going to be pretty solid. Brogdon, I've had people asking me if Brogdon comes back, do we add him? No, I'm not. If you want to, you can, but even if he comes back, I don't think he's not coming back. So, no. So, yeah, there's probably a few guys in Portland I think you could take a bit of a shot on. Even Delano Banton, maybe in the final 2 weeks could get some minutes. And then we've got the other teams that we talked about the other night as well. Who did we talk about? Can we remember? It was
it was the Grizzlies.
Pistons.
The Pistons down the rest of the way. We also spoke about the Jazz, even potentially packing it in with guys like they've just flirted with a few game value. The Spurs, even possibly even thinking like Victor's got it now. It's in the bag. Yeah. We should shut him down a little bit. Like, let's go back to those restrictions we had to save him. And then I thought we were also maybe talking about, again, the Charlotte Hornets and whose value there. So Nick Richards obviously taken that spot. Trey Mann, Micic.
Washington was probably another one.
Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we think about Rockets there too? I feel like they're definitely outside of the play-in. Cam Whitmore is going to be a guy that I'm going to be picking up a lot of. Amen Thompson if he's available.
Thompson,
Yeah, these guys there. I think. Am I really high? There's this young guy who's got a bit of a future in the NBA, I think. He just needs to get hot and stay hot. He's coming off the bench for the Wizards right now, Jordan Poole.
I thought it was funny that Lloyd posed the question like, it'd be funny if Jordan Poole's like a top 10 player the rest of the way. And like, I think he was making a joke, obviously, but like, there's a distinct chance that actually might happen.
Look,
the way that he looked last night, he was just chucking. So
he was throwing everything up. This was his sweet. Kispert's been fantastic though. Kispert's been fantastic for Washington lately. So hat off to Corey Kispert for that one. But I think if this is the role that Jordan Poole is, if people did drop him off, and they have, like I've seen him be picked up on some wires because they had enough. But since he's moved back to the bench, he's obviously got that role now, and it has been absolutely locked in. Let's start down onto, I guess, let's look at the game preview for the weekends. We'll start putting our big punt together. You've got 10 minutes. We'll have a bit of a multi-parlay day and talk along the way.
He's heating up.
Also, another question in chat. Poole is playing like nothing matters because nothing does matter to Jordan Poole apart from just playing.
It never mattered. Why is he acting like it matters now? Like, you couldn't have done this 3 months ago, bro. Like,
for another question, would you Bojan to get Schroeder in 12-team 9-cat? Boys, thoughts?
That's a tough one.
Is that a dance?
Yeah, Bojan's only getting 20 minutes, and they don't have Randall, OG, or Robinson. So 20 minutes as well is just it's like Thibodeau's like, no, we're not playing you any more than that. While Schroeder's also got to deal with Simmons and Thomas to come back. So even though Schroeder did play well the other day, so it's tough either way. But I don't think Bojan goes under 20 minutes, but I can say Schroeder losing minutes when Simmons does play, if he does. And yeah, I know. Maybe I'll lean Boyan just for threes. And I think he's just going to sit around that 20 minutes, but it's not going to go higher or lower. But yeah.
If you're trying to win now, I'd probably go Schroeder just because the Nets play 5 games in Week 19. And he's had a nice last couple of games, and I don't really have any trust in Ben Simmons to come back. So, I mean, it's a trade in the margins, but like Schroeder can help you next week. So if that's what you're doing it for, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I prefer Schroeder. I don't think either are must roster players, but if you're wanting to pick one, and as Dan said, they do have 5 games next week. So I think I'd drop Boyan and get Schroeder.
100%. And just happy that Cam Johnson had a great game. And I hope he had players like that for 5 more next week for all those rosters that Cam Johnson's
another one, man. Just total disappointment this year.
100%. Injured, not injured, and percentages all over the shot. Then he has a game like yesterday, and you remember how good he is. And then you just wish that why couldn't that be Mikal Bridges every single game as well at the same time? Carmody, Drummond or GG in head-to-head Yahoo points league. There's GA from Yahoo beneath me right now. Drummond or GG, if you were making it bullet to your head, gun to your head moment, who do you take there, Dan?
Drummond, gotta be Drummond. It sounds disgusting, but like the Bulls just have no front court at this point. So just roll with Drummond, man. It's a double-double with a block or a steal. So yeah, I'm comfortable with Drummond in points leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a look, we'll get down to the games of the week one. We're looking at the back-to-backs for Friday and Saturday. It's the Grizz, the Trailblazers. Saturday and Sunday is the Suns. It can be a little bit of a hard streaming week this week we're rolling out to 9 games today, but we are looking at a very sexy 5-game day tomorrow, followed by 8 on Sunday. So we look to maximize spots Saturday and Sunday, but if you do have a spot on tonight's 9-game slate, you can look to roll in some of the Phoenix Suns guys. Shout out to Grayson Allen, who was seen by at least, I guess 70. No, it's 60% of chat not to be a jerk anymore. That was really nice of him for the Phoenix Suns, rolling into the Clips, the Timberwolves, and the Thunder for Week 19. First game of the day up off the back for the preview is the Hornets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Anyone that takes our eyes here for a stream in, guys? We also did have a comment. Do we like Paul Reed, Skiddy? Do you like Paul Reed?
Yeah, I still like what he can provide. I think he's like a top 90 or 80 odd player. I think this matchup is all right against Richards as well in the Hornets. Hornets have been scoring like shit as of late. I'm pretty sure they're definitely under 100. They could be even close to 90 points per game lately. So I like Reed. He should be able to get a few rebounds this game. I mean, if he's still there, Oubre's a game time, same as Martin, and Melton's out. So, and then for the Hornets, I mean, do we just keep rolling with Grant Williams? He's been playing pretty well since he's gotten to Charlotte. So keep going until he's played like shit, even though 2 days ago he did have that crapper. So, I mean, it's still Grant Williams. No one's going to, when he played in Boston or in Dallas, no one gave a crap about him even when he started and was getting 30 minutes. He was still a waiver wire guy, but now he's in Charlotte and he's been playing better. So it's something that we've got to look at. So I think they're my main 2 for this game.
Nice. We'll go on to anyone else change on that one. I think Kelly Oubre being questionable and KJ Martin questionable there as well adds minutes, with Nicholas Batum probably getting a bump if that's the case today for Kelly Oubre being out. But he's been dependable to get you some peripherals and decent percentages. Anyone else come to mind for you two, Kingy or Dan?
I don't know, Miles Bridges points maybe, because he's coming off a pretty bad game in terms of what he's been doing. So and against a Philly team that doesn't have Embiid, and I don't know, I just think Bridges is going to come out firing. So he I don't know what, over 20 points or something. I'm not a bettor, but yeah, something like that. And I was going to say maybe Nick Richards rebounds, but if both teams could go small, like if one team goes small, the other one might go small. So maybe not that, but I'm hoping Bridges goes well.
Yeah, shout out as well to Old Man in the Sea, who's saying Trey Mann's still not rostered in too many leagues. I was actually surprised to see that he actually was downtrending this week in one league. I was like,
50%.
Yeah. Thank you. Someone, you know what? You should ask someone who works at Yahoo about those percentages. Oh, Dan, hello. You're there. He's still not rostered in a lot of leagues.
Man, he's at 41 now. So I guess people are just off of the Charlotte Hornets because they can't score points the last like 3 games. But Trey Mann's definitely something that I would pick up. Like the only hesitancy I have on Trey Mann is like if your playoffs start week 21, the Hornets only play 2 games and it's not on the lighter slate. So you may not even be able to play Trey Mann. So just something to consider. But like in the short term, there's nothing wrong with keeping Trey Mann. Like he's got that job locked up for the foreseeable future.
100% down 5% in Yahoo leagues. Yahoo in the past 24 hours. I remember that from when I was a kid. Yahoo.
That was a great yodel. That was a real solid yodel.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my capabilities. Thank you, man. I appreciate that from you. Let's go to Cleveland and Detroit. There's no one else I want to ask more than Cleveland's number 1 fan than my man, Jake Skidmore. Cleveland today. Sir. What do you like? What do you not like? And then Kingy, I want you to give me some Detroit options, brother.
I mean, look, Spider is questionable with left knee soreness, which just seems that they're going to be a bit more cautious with playing against Detroit, I would say. But you can never have one of those nights because Detroit could roll them.
Good.
Also, Max Strus, how good was that buzzer beater against the Mavericks just quietly? Oh, gee, what a man.
Strusy.
5 from 5 in the last 4 minutes. Oh, geez, that was great.
So good.
Yeah, if Spider misses, also Levert is also game time decision. If they both miss, then you'd be looking Sam Merrill for 3s, maybe even Craig Porter Jr. Isaac Okoro would be the pickup. If they both miss, he'll slide into the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, Okoro has actually been quite serviceable with his peripherals in the last few games, where he's been getting like 6 assists and 7 rebounds, which is just unheard of for Okoro. So I think, if Mitchell and Levert both miss, then it's definitely Okoro. You can have a swing on Merrill. But it's going to be the good thing about it is it is the early game, so we will be able to have first preference when I don't know what time it is for Titus over there, but for us, about 10:30 a.m. So in 2 hours, an hour and a half.
Yep. He is questionable. If he plays, though, I do like him for 25 plus points, but I am concerned of a blowout. Though the Pistons have been better a little bit of lately, so I'm just not going to be like, oh, they're shit, they're going to blow them out. Well, they're playing a little bit more consistently, so we can't factor that in as heavily. So I like Donovan Mitchell if he does play for 25 plus points, just to absolutely cook after not so great game the other day. He always bounce back. Mitchell is a thing. Whenever you ever see Donovan Mitchell have an average game, his next game statistically is like, oh, that's Don. So I love that. Don is good. Anyone over at the Pistons side there you like today, Kingy?
No, look, I mean, they're pretty healthy at the moment. So other than Marcus Sasser, I think, who is out, they've pretty much got everyone available. They're probably going to have to play big against Cleveland. So like Isaiah Stewart, he's going to play too many minutes again. That's a nightly occurrence. I'm hoping Jaden Ivey has a good one. I managed to actually pick. He was dropped in a league, so I picked him up. Not sure why he was dropped, but I'm hoping he has a big one. I don't know. It's tough because Cleveland is such a good team. So Detroit, as you said, they have been better, but they're still not a good team. So this could be a blowout if Donovan plays, if Levert plays. And if that's the case, then it's hard to know who from Detroit is going to do anything because they might only play 24 minutes for their starters or something like that. So I don't know. There's not a lot in Detroit. I mean, I could be missing something, but for me, I think with a few games on the slate, I think there's other games I'd rather target.
100%. Let's move on then to Dallas. Oh, go on. Skiddy.
Sorry, just quickly. Cleveland don't blow teams out. They are just like slowly getting over the line. They're playing. Last year they blew out teams, and then they just like ran out of energy later in the season. They're starting to do like more of a I can't remember the team, Miami kind of thing where they would just beat teams, and they're trying not to exert as much energy earlier in the season. So you'll notice most of our games we're not like smashing teams by 20. So there is a chance that Detroit will like be able to keep this somewhat close.
Yeah, I was actually going to say
I do
take
have
the
to head
points
off,
with
guys, because my lift is here. I can hear him.
No worries, Kingy.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Kingy.
Kingy.
Thank you, brother. thank you. I'll do this one and this one. And it's like seamless. It's seamless. And then I'll just do the brand and then it'll be like a trio, no names. Look at this. Look at this. It's like, what?
Well done,
Kingy,
Jake.
are you? Thank you. I pushed all the right buttons at the right time. What do you like on the points there, mate?
Yeah, Skiddy. I think you're right, man. I would take the points with Detroit here. I don't know, man. I feel like they're playing a little bit more of inspired basketball, especially after that game that they got hosed against the Knicks. I think that they can keep it closer than what's the line you seeing? 8.5 points.
8.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I would lay 8.5, but prop. I actually like Cade Cunningham over 1.5 threes. He's been bombing the last 4 games, like no less than 7 attempts. Okay. He's been really efficient with it. It's a little juiced up, but if you're throwing in a parlay, I think that might be a nice little adder.
Parlay.
All right. I'm doing all the things. I'm doing all the things.
What's it called?
Multi.
It's a parlay. It's a multi. It's the multi.
I love how it rolls off. How it like rolls off. Parlay.
Parlay. Ooh, your parlay.
Also, a very sexy little ad, that one, because he's hit 4. Was it 0? It was 0 though. 4, 4, 5, and 3. But for 2, he's at $1.67 today.
Like it.
Cade Cunningham. I like that a lot. So that's in there. Lock it in. On to the next one. Bolus. Wow. That's what happens when a Maverick and a Celtic have an unholy alliance and a bolus. Also something that you can vomit up, funnily enough, in science. Boston Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. Luka is going in questionable. Derek Lively is on the injury report, but he is playing with his nasal fracture, obviously. And Kleber also has a nasal fracture. I don't know what's going on with noses in Dallas, but they've got it in today against a red-hot Boston Celtics team. Kyrie returning to TD Garden. I love Kyrie for something here because he just always loves to say F you to the Celts fans when he goes back, to be fair. I think that's the only thing I'm really cute on.
Do you want to know a fun fact that Kyrie, since he stepped on Lucky, has not won against Boston since?
Interesting.
Since he stepped on Lucky, he has not beaten Boston. So take that with what you will, but Boston. And they will get 10 in a row.
Okay, well, I'm just going to smash Boston for the win, but I'm going to put on Kyrie for 20. I'm going to put Kyrie for 20 or 50. Kyrie for 20.
I mean, look, he's been balling.
He's been getting buckets, so I'm not mad at that. I like Jason Tatum over 8.5 rebounds.
Yeah, I like that too.
Ooh, all right. Rebounds.
Scrappy.
I like that. All right. Yeah, this is like that game for Dallas where it's like, Kyrie and Luka, as good as Luka is, and obviously we don't have to worry about matchups for him, but Kyrie has to defend with White or Holiday. Two very, very good defensive guards. So, yeah, that's the only thing that worries me about having Kyrie in. But, I think I just lean Boston, and I think, they're going to do their thing. But I do like the Tatum for nine or more boards. He does like to get the boards, and they both play at a fairly nice pace, so there should be some shots getting up.
Fantasy-wise, for the pack slate today, the minute split between, obviously, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford will continue. I do like Kleber for a bit of floor-stretching ability today, though, with this team. That is probably more the style of the stretch offense that the Celtics run, and looking for Tim Hardaway Jr. if you need some threes coming to this one with Dante Exum returning and ramping up there. Into Golden State and the Toronto Raptors. This was another team that was getting very, very saucy lately, with Emmanuel Quickley coming into being a top 20 player in the past fortnight. He is I like him for the points versus the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry is on the injury report. He is playing tonight after some rest concerns. Anyone here we like for some streams? Because I like Grady Dick for the Raptors lately. I think he's getting minutes to be a viable option, and people are just still sleeping on him a little bit, I think. And I picked him up in a couple of leagues when he needs to be picked up. I think he's shooting well. He had an off game the other night, but he'd been playing well enough to be roster roll in those spots.
All for Grady Dick, man. He's on fire from 3. Like, throw out the dud, but like I think he's found his groove in terms of like compared to the earlier season, like he was just kind of struggling, but they're finding ways to get him in the rotation and he's shooting confidently. So yeah, I think he's definitely a streamer for sure.
Yep. Absolutely agree with it. Pajemski is game time, same as Santos, and Wiggins is out with his personal issues. So, I mean, you could have a crack at Moody, but yeah, I think I'd be more confident with Grady Dick. I'm liking.
So you just to be clear, you're more confident with Dick.
Oh yeah, I'm way more confident with Dick. Really know how he really knows how to work it. I like the close game.
Because you're gonna say he knows how to stroke it.
Oh yeah, that's also a good one too. Wish
He does. He does.
All right, let's cut that and rewind. He knows how to stroke it. I like the close game in this game, Jay Whistle. I let me try bet under 8.5. Golden State are coming from a back-to-back in New York last night. So it's travel from New York to Toronto. Toronto have been actually picking apart teams that have been coming off of a back-to-back with their length and the pace that they play at. So I like it being a close game. I mean, there's all.
So you try bet. What is your try bet for?
Try bet 5.
For how many points? Try bet 5.
Try bet 5.
5 or less. Yep. Done.
No.
$2.60.
8.5 or less.
8.5. Right.
8.5 or less. Either way. Gotcha. Yeah. So I think they keep it. I think they keep it close either way this game. So actually looking forward to this one. But it should be a close game.
Old man, can I just shout out to Old Man and a C? He's been in chat all game. Hasn't been. I love this. I love comedy. It. He's also comfortable. He's straight comedy, and he's been active. Shout out to you, Old Man, for joining us for the first time, as far as I'm aware. Love that for you. Portland. He's been here a couple of times.
Yep. I'm saying that name because it's a pretty, recognizable name because it's fairly. Different. I
just thought it was JJ Redick tuning in. I just thought it was JJ. Portland and Memphis today. We talked about these two teams heading down the stretch. It's a shit show battle, and I want to avoid betting anything on it to save my life. Zaire Williams getting some extra stream and run right now. He had a dud, but he played very well the other night. I like his ability to profile with some steals and some peripherals around the edges there. I also expect Jordan Goodwin. He is expected to play tonight again with his limited games cap. His percentages were dog shit the other night, but the 8 and 8 is sexy. So if he hits a couple more shots, you're looking at a nigh on near triple double bloke for the day from his game in a new team. So we can't overlook. And again, because points are the sexy girl you want to take to the dance, like they're your Julia Roberts in the red dress, and you guys who shoot like shit at her standing on the corner in Beverly Hills. You just don't want to touch them. And the thing is, they can still both give you a really good time. They're just wearing a different outfit. And points are great, but just if you need those rebounds, if you need those assists, if you need the outside numbers, Jordan Goodwin, and look for him to have a bounce back game on offense as well. Anyone else there we can see, guys?
I'm searching for.
Yeah, I'm only going. I think Zaire Williams is a nice pickup as they got the back-to-back, and I think he's pretty much the only player that is probably. You can feel confident with him playing this back-to-back. Goodwin obviously with the games cap. Vince Williams is off. People have already picked him up. Santi Aldama, like he gets the minutes, but he does stuff all with them. No centers is what I'm noticing as well for the Grizzlies, where Santi will probably have to play center. Lamar Stevens is currently listed as the center. I'd be backing in Ayton for rebounds if he was playing, but.
I'm looking for Duop. I'm looking at Duop Reith for rebounds right now, and I can't even.
I'm about to say they don't even have him listed yet, huh?
Yeah, no, it won't come out yet. No. That'll be out in probably about 10 minutes before the game. I reckon when they'll actually bring out a market for Duop.
Yep.
I hate this game with an absolute passion, and I'm not punting on it in the slightest because it can go out of the way. Like,
could we go Kamara for 4 rebounds and $1.14 though?
No,
I reckon he'll get 4 rebounds. No, all right, we'll avoid it. I
still don't like that either. That's horrible.
Let's
could play stuff all, and then might play Thibault instead. It could be Chris Murray for some fucking reason.
Well, then let's just call that the play and avoid it. We'll call that one the play game and avoid it. Indiana and New Orleans, they are up next on the docket. Oh. This could have been the in-season. Yeah. Ooh, I think this is a this is a cooker. This is a real good matchup. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I almost don't want to punt on it because I do just want to enjoy it. I think this is a game to enjoy.
Yep, I 100% agree. This is going to be an absolute ripper of a game. Naismith's game time. Doug McDermott's out. Dyson Daniels out. I 100% agree with you, G. This could be absolutely anything, and it's going to be an absolute ripping of matchup. So, yep, I'm with you on that.
100%. Anyone you like there, Dan?
Kind of looking at the market here. I'm thinking about the pace of it. I feel like, what do you see Jonas Valanciunas' PRA at, or points and rebounds?
It's let me check. The other thing is, do you reckon Val would? Yeah, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down because do you see Val playing out a whole game where he has to match up against Turner, or would they prefer to have Larry Nance out there who has that more perimeter style game?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find what Valanciunas' record against the Pacers has been this year, but I feel like he's just going to get played off the floor. Like he'll bang a little bit with Turner, but I feel like that with that pace and those teams, that's going to be a track meet.
Yep,
100%.
I'll get that up for you right now.
I don't think Val's going anywhere near 20. I think he's going to. I don't think he'll get that 20 minutes tonight. I just think with Turner and Pascal out there, it's just going to be a track meet race. I reckon Larry will get some. I reckon Najee Marshall might even see some more minutes for the Pels tonight. To be fair,
so just to keep you're absolutely. I've just found it for you, Titus. Last time the Pacers played the Pelicans was 29th of Feb, and Valanciunas had 3 rebounds. That's it.
Did he get hurt? Because he only played 7 minutes.
That's what I meant. I'm pretty sure they played. I'm pretty sure they just didn't play him. They ran Nance and Sticks. Sorry, not Stick. Zion at center. That's what they were running.
Yeah, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So well, let's move on to the next one.
Valanciunas under.
Oh, Valanciunas under. All right, let's go Val under on that one and move to the next game. Sacramento and Minnesota. De'Aaron Fox is questionable with his left knee contusion. Anthony Edwards is also questionable with left ankle soreness. And this one, this is the response to Val. No, he got benched because he sucked Grady, which is a saying that we should all take on board. And we love that from you, old man. Yeah. Absolutely love that.
He's on a roll today.
Yeah, he is, man. I love that. Straight comedy. Great game matchup wise here. Keegan Murray could continue the hot shooting. I like him for 2 threes today as just a bit of a, but I want to say, I think the Timberwolves will get the win. I think they've been playing a lot better lately than the Sacramento Kings. I do like 2 made threes though for Keegan Murray in this one at $1.41.
Okay. Don't mind that. Minnesota for me as well. Kings have just looked a little bit iffy the last few. What the hell happened with Ant the other day, though? Like, why did he get carried off? Like, people in my chat were saying Ant's done his ACL, Ant's done his Achilles and shit because he got carried off. And then next thing I know, he's on the bloody free throw line. Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So last time these guys played, Minnesota won by 12. Ant had 34 and 10. Rudy Gobert had 21 and 17, and Sabonis had a triple-double. So, can go either way with these guys, as the Kings did win the game before that. But in Minnesota, I think they're going to be too strong.
100%. Anyone there you like in Titus?
Let's see here. I mean, safe bet is probably taking like a Rudy Gobert points and rebounds over, but that's going to be pretty hefty. It's like 28.5 now. Might be too much. Give me Cat points over. Big Cat.
Okay.
I don't know who can guard him. It's not going to be Keegan Murray. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, they'll dominate.
You know what? That's actually, he's on 20. We can go 20 points.
Yeah, I like 20.5.
$1.47.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, well, 20 points is $1.47. So let's hit that one for the big meow going into Milwaukee and Chicago. Right. Who do you like in there for our second last game of the day, Skiddy?
Well, I hate betting on Milwaukee as of late just because they can come out and just lose to the shittest of teams. Like they lost to the Hornets the other week. So I really hate betting on Milwaukee. You'd think that Milwaukee would win this. Caruso's game time. Middleton's still out. Giannis seems to be out. It seems to be playing. I mean, if they gave me the market for it, I'd be backing in Drummond for a double-double. That's just where my mind goes with the 2 bigs for Milwaukee. Drummond would be a pickup for today as well, fantasy-wise. Tasumi's been playing a lot better, which is nice.
Playing
And
great.
and for the love of God, don't pick up Jay Crowder. Far out. I'm sick of people asking me. Crowder is not a pickup. He's shit.
Not good.
He's real bad.
That's all I got.
Not good. That's the most politically correct way that you could have said that, Dan. He is not good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
He's just not fantasy relevant. Like
Yeah.
this is not the Jay Crowder of old. So just leave him be on the bench. You'll be fine. Choose someone else.
Yes.
You know what? This is very funny. You said about Dame's watches seem to be broken. Yeah, he's not the best 3-point shooter on his team by a long way, but he has been looking a little bit better. So, you know, respect to Dame coming back. We did expect him to have a better run after the All-Star break, and he has lived up to that one. And right in here, there's a great one for Matt Cummey. Bucks set franchise record for margin of victory in a season series versus the Hornets, 29.2 points and 4 straight out the All-Star break. So, you know, the doc show is in effect, and the doctor is in with those guys right now. We don't like anyone there. We'll move on to our last one then. It's the Washington Wizards on a back-to-back versus the Clippers. Jordan Poole for 40. Yes, no. What are our...
No. That LA back-to-back for the Wizards. Yeah, nah.
Jeez.
I would...
I think the Clippers are 15.5 favorites. Whew.
That's actually quite a nice line to take the Wizards, in all honesty. Like 15.5 is crazy, man. But they're coming off a back-to-back overtime game. Probably one of the better Wizards games that we've actually seen, in fairness. Jordan Poole, 34. Kismet's been all right. Kuzma still just doing his thing. Avdia back. I'm surprised that Avdia isn't on the injury report, seeing as he's missed the last
He's just
week.
questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's questionable still. So I got a questionable beside him still.
Oh yeah, now it
he's been updated. Yeah, they updated about 5 minutes. He was out, then questionable. So I have no idea what's going on. And Paul George and Zubac are questionable as well.
Nice.
I like Norman Powell for threes. I like Norman Powell for 2 threes, but that is not there. We've only got actually, you know what? For 2 threes, Kawhi Leonard is $1.43.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean 2 3. That's fine. I'm all right with it. I mean, there's no one on the Wizards perimeter that's going to stop him from pulling up. I just wonder if the game gets out of hand, like, will he be able to?
Does he just go out there early and just do his thing and be like, I don't want to play after halftime? Right. Like, let's get up. Let's just sit me in the third quarter.
So last time they played, Clippers won by 16, but it was like a pull away at the end of the game. Kawhi had 31, 9 and 4. Kuzma had 27 and Harden 25. And this game was also 2 without Paul George.
Interesting.
For the Clippers. Okay. So,
how many threes did
the Wizards put up?
What's that? Sorry.
How many points did the Wizards put up?
109 to 125 Clippers.
I was going to say I like the Wizards team total under 110.5, but
it's about there.
That's close. That's too close.
Yeah, it is.
Jordan Poole didn't play that game either for the Wizards, so there was no Paul George and no Jordan Poole for the Wizards. So, and they put up 109. So, there might be a little bit in that.
What was our Kawhi points in that last? Kawhi threes in that one.
I can't see that, unfortunately, and I can't be bothered going back to what was it that was played on the. Why do Americans do the other way around? I hate how you write your date.
What is the month? What is that about?
The month first, like far out. That's so annoying. Every single time I look at this, it's like it says 01.02 2024. I don't know if that's the 2nd of March or the 1st of Feb.
So Kawhi hit 1 3 in their last one, 2 threes before that, 1, 2, and then 3 in the last 5 games. So he's attempted no less than 4. So it's a matter of whether he's going to go, 2 for 4 or 3 for 5, maybe 2 for 5.
I'll rest it. I'll rest it on Skiddy's sage-like advice that we just don't know what's going to happen with at the end of the day. So we'll just make it a nice little leave.
Okay.
We'll make it a leave.
Don't mind that. I didn't mind
this one time.
I didn't mind Titus's call of Wizards like Oh, wait, was it under 110? Did you say?
Yeah, almost now that Poole didn't play in that game, I almost want to say go over 110.5 and just hope for the Wizards just balling out once again in LA.
Yeah, I could say that
Or
as well. Yeah,
back-to-back.
they are
No,
the
back-to-back.
leaders in pace per game, the Wizards as well. So it could be up there in the scores.
Well, that's the other thing
that's
is like, are they going to have
Wizards
tired
close.
legs from overtime last night, and then they come out flat, and then so maybe it's all right, nuanced. Wizards team total under first half, maybe, and then they pick it up.
That's a good shout.
Yeah. That's a good shout. First half markets.
Second half.
First half.
And let's be honest, Jordan Poole probably went to like some club after dropping 30. His best game out, like, come on, you're in LA. Like, of course you're gonna go out and go do something like
100%.
He's gone up to that little hidden bowling alley at the Roosevelt. He's just gonna live it up and have some drinks on the sidebar. I mean, that's what I do. When I go to LA, that's where I'm at. Like, I just love that bowling alley. It's the best.
Maybe that's why we go overs for Danny Avdia, because there's no goddamn chance he went out last night. The way
Kuz and Poole were out somewhere.
100%.
They're all just going to be deferring. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, get Denny, go do that. Yeah, you got it.
You got it. You're well rested.
Oh man, he just didn't dial up hard, and he was like, James, where you at? I'm going to come through. There was a lot of brotherly love in Los Angeles last night. I got to put that one up. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody, make sure that you like and subscribe and do all of the things to not only us at Inside F Sports, at Skiddy IFS, and at NBAGWiz, but also jump into our Discord. All the details are below. $25 memberships for our unlimited for NRL, AFL, NBA, and everything for the entire year. But Dan Titus, tell us what's coming up on your docket.
Yeah, check out my article dropped today. Just giving you some advice. If you're fighting for a playoff spot, check that out. Learn the schedule, encouraging you to make some trades. I feel like everyone's apprehensive to make moves. Like, don't get married to these players, man. Like, take a shot, go for the goal, get that championship. On Monday, I got my playlist article dropping. And then next week, it's really just going to be about prepping for, the fantasy playoffs, man. Like, we're only a couple weeks out. Some of you might be starting next week. So keep it locked in, and I'll keep on giving you that fantasy advice to hopefully bring home the gold.
Love that. Love that. Can I also, can I make a request? Can I make a request for something? Can you hey, this just Skiddy's like, oh, what?
Who do you need eligibility? Who's next on the list?
There's no eligibility. There's no eligibility. This is not an eligibility question. This is not an eligibility question. This is
Maddie's always in the DMs like, yo, so what about Onyeka Okongwu? So
no, I haven't done that. I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't done that in a long time.
What does this guy have to do?
Everything. The omelet needs to do everything. No. I would love to see you move the playlist onto a Spotify, and so everyone can check out like the songs each week. You put the date on.
That's a great. And I've actually been thinking about that, bro. It's a great idea. And it's a great thought. So
because I've actually been looking at the tracks and I've been looking at the tracks and things that you've been putting together, and I've been searching for them. I'm like, fuck that. I just want to add Dan as a friend,
right?
So he can check out my Taylor Swift set list from last Saturday night's gig, and he can share that one and listen to it from top to bottom of 3 hours of Tay-Tay, and I can listen to the playlist every now and then. That's all I'm after.
Will not make the playlist, but PJ Morton did.
Yeah, you go. Oh, you that Morton stuff was hot, right?
Yeah.
That was some good.
I liked it a lot. So yeah, you put me on. So yeah, we need to make your own playlist and then share. And then
I do.
That's what we.
I do.
That's what you probably make an off-season playlist. Just talk about music and shit. That'd be cool.
Actually, I would love to do that with you. I think that's one of my favorite things to do. Making playlists. I actually custom make even my things. Like literally, I'm going to turn my volume down. We went to that Taylor Swift concert. I even make my own custom covers for every show.
All right, you're way beyond me there. I need to step my game.
I love that. And like guys, and I match it up from like live concerts. There's Leon Bridges at the Sydney Opera House doing his thing. Yeah, that was I'll send you that gig. That was a nice one. But yeah, put them up because I think everyone would love to listen to that music in the off season and check that out. Cool. Are we going to talk about Taylor Swift for an hour? No, because that would be a whole other podcast. And yes, we will see you next time too. Oh man, thank you so much everyone for watching, viewing. Bless you all. Take care. Go get that W in week 18. Again, with the last couple of days to go down, you are looking to stream in today the Suns if you have any spots. For Sunday, looking to get on the Friday, Saturday, the Grizz, the Trailblazers, rolling into the Suns, and for Sunday, Monday, the Clips, T-Wolves, and Thunders to start your Week 19s off strong and get that W into your fantasy playlist. Take care, everybody. Be well.